Hi, good afternoon. How are you? This is Mary Lou Foster, and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Sulphur Springs, Texas. I'm going to make a couple of Christmas cards with you today. Let me see, it says I am live. Make sure I'm oriented in the right direction. Oh, that looks nice. Excuse me while I put my iPad up in front of me. All right. Looks pretty nice. I think I might lower it a little bit today. I don't want to feel like I'm 1,200 miles above my workspace, but I need to remember to work in the center of my workspace. So I'm glad that you joined me. I see someone's joining me live. If you don't mind, if you'll comment when you join, then I'll be able to see who is watching. And I think I need to turn up. The volume is down. So I am going to get started. I have two cards actually that I want to make today. I need to empty my tubs because I have more classes coming up, and these cards are sitting in the tubs. So I'll do two today. So our first card is traditional Christmas colors, but it's on crumb cake cardstock. It's a landscape top fold card. I've used the Trees for Sale, Trimming the Tree, and the Designer Tags dies. That's what this tag is cut out with. Is one of the that's a really good. It's in the annual catalog. I will post. I will post a list of the supplies that I have used. And if you're interested in those, the item number, it should have a direct link. When you click on it, takes it right to my page to purchase. I have embossed that tag with the Whimsical Woodland 3D embossing folder. This is such a fun folder. And it depends on where you lay your tag, because this is pretty small, but you could choose the Christmas trees. And I put it in different spots. This one kind of has a tree along the edge. This one has small trees. So that's a neat little touch for that tag. The paper is Boughs of Holly. I believe that's correct. I did not write that down, but I'm pretty sure that's right. And like I said, I'll put a description. Yeah, Boughs of Holly. Kind of unexpected. If it's not, I'll correct it later. So let's get started. I had to make some substitutions in the envelope that I kept for myself because I ran out of the ribbon. I've ordered another roll. It's this natural ribbon that we used on this one, and that is such a pretty texture. It's fun to work with. It ties nice bows. This one doesn't have a bow on it. It's a kind of a faux, a fake bow. So I'm going to use the, oh, now I'm not going to remember what that ribbon's name is. A combination of ribbons. So I have a layer of Evening Evergreen that I'm layering a piece of crumb cake on. And my piece of crumb cake did not get cut the right size. So let me give it a little haircut. It's 4 by 5 1/4. The Evening Evergreen is. So this one needs to be 5. I just didn't cut it short enough. That happens sometimes when I'm prepping the card kits. I get a little ahead of myself. So I trim that down. I am going to go ahead. The secret to the front of this card, I didn't give a large enough or long enough piece of ribbon to actually go all the way around the card, because you can take some shortcuts. This is my tip on this card. Instead of using a piece of ribbon that would have gone all the way around the center panel, I just gave a piece of ribbon that just goes to the back. And just kind of watch. I'm not going to put that on yet because I have these pieces of the designer series paper. So let me move my card base out of the way. And it doesn't matter what order these are in. Whatever looks nice to you. We kind of had to laugh because when they turn it over and see this side, and I may do that side. I think I will. They go, oh, I'd rather have that side. As long as you have all the colors represented. That's what I like about doing the Facebook Lives. These were cards that we made in my card class last week because I change them up some then. I think about them or I'm like, oh, why don't I try this instead? So another tip, I mount the top piece and bottom piece whenever I'm layering on strips like this so that I have my borders where I want them along the edges and the bottom or the top. And then I can center this in between them and kind of eye up how much is sticking out. I chose this piece because the stripes are going up and down. If you notice, those stripes were going sideways. And it would work, but I just kind of prefer. Oh, well, of course, I have run out of Stampin' Seal. But that's a good opportunity to show you how quick and easy. This is the Stampin' Seal refill. And y'all, they have packaged this. They don't want you to get into it. First, you have to rip that off. Then you have to pull that apart. Then you finally can get your cassette of, and it's so easy. You just put those wheels on the little openings and boom, you got it. Well, they have the posts. All right, let me find a sticky spot so I can get my, there it goes. Get that started. So I'm just kind of eyeing up. Well, today is November the 1st. Can you believe that? Now I can do the ribbon. This ribbon is wider. So I'm going to run some adhesive on the back. And I like this ribbon because it has ribs. And so I can line that up and it's straight. That's pretty cool. All right. And pretty nice. So the tag can go on dimensionals. And I am going to put it only out here because if you put them here in the middle, then because it's on the ribbon, it kind of leaves a hump. And you don't really want that. You just want it elevated a little bit. It's really pretty. Evening Evergreen. I love this color green. It's such a nice Christmas color, but it's been great for nearly every season. And then, so I chose the ribbon, what is this one called? Silver. I don't read German. Metallic edge cotton ribbon. So it's not shiny except for the edge. And it is very vanilla, kind of off-white. And this ribbon is off-white some. It's not a bright white So, you know, when you're wrapping packages, you don't always use the same ribbon for the bow. And I took liberty and decided that's how I would do that. And give this a little haircut. You could fray it. That's the nice thing about it because it's cotton. Now let me show you how we did the sentiment on this one. We stamped it on just a piece of cardstock, the basic white. And we cut around it. No big secret of how that's done. Just kind of follow the shape of the stitching. Get that out of our way. Close up this real red because you don't want to have an accident with that. I see somebody else has joined me. Like I said, if you'll comment, I'll know who's watching. But welcome to my Facebook Live. Christmas. Since it's November 1st. It's still fall, but I feel like Christmas is coming quickly. And kind of want things to slow down so we can enjoy the seasons. Our trees here on our county road are beginning to turn beautiful colors of yellow and orange. The tree in my brother's yard is a sassafras tree, and it has turned orange, and now there is a carpet of orange underneath the tree. Not very many leaves are left on it. It was happy to let go and let God. I have pictures I'll post of that tree that I have been taking. Sometimes I'll pull in to my driveway and that tree is kind of directly in front of me, and I'll hop out of the car and take pictures. Since it's my brother, they don't care. All right, so the trick about this label, it's on the tag, so you don't want to put dimensionals under that part of it, but I do want to snug one up kind of close to the edge of the ribbon of the label. And I'm just centering it on this green stripe paper. It might be a little crooked. Christmas greetings. So the front of the card, I chose not to put any other embellishments. No, just nothing. Now it's mounted on the front of the crumb cake. That's cut at 5.5 by 8.5. Scored at 4 1/4, just the traditional size, but it's turned sideways or horizontal or landscape. And this should be matted pretty evenly all the way around. And then I did not put a white liner in this one. I felt like it's a light enough cardstock that you could write a sentiment and be able to read it well. Kind of feels like I'm cheating though, because I put that white liner on the inside of so many cards. So we've got a strip of the Coordinating Designer Series paper. It's cut at 3/4 by 5 1/4. And our sentiment says, may your season be merry and bright. You're sending Christmas greetings. And then I always like to handwrite Merry Christmas. I've got stamps that say that, but sometimes I just want to write it myself. Uh-oh. Let me see how I stamped on my block. I don't really want to try to stamp with that on there because I don't want to accidentally touch it on where I don't want it. So what I was lining up is kind of drawing an imaginary line underneath the words may your and lining it up with the crease right there. And that's pretty straight. And that's all I did on the inside. This card is really quick. I think it would be one that you could mass produce because these are cut at 1 inch by 4 3/4 because they're 1/4 of an inch smaller than this layer of crumb cake, which is 1/4 of an inch smaller of this, which is 1/4 of an inch smaller of the card base. So that's my first card. And I'm going to grab my second one. Let me pull it down just a little bit so you can see it. Now my second one. So tell me, which one do you like better? The one that has the ribbon with the silver edge on it, or the one that has the same ribbon for the strip and the knot? I just tied a knot. I don't think I mentioned that. No bows today. So my second card uses Framed and Festive, and that's for the inside, and Trees for Sale. So this one is a little bit more involved. There was die cutting that my ladies had to use. There was some embossing, trimming the tree. It is, what did I use that for? I guess because of the dies. I don't know. It's in this tub. Sometimes it's best to not ask questions. My ladies will help me clean up after a class, and I find things in all kinds of places. We use the Festive pearls on this one. Love these pearls. They're on back order again. Of course, we don't do back orders anymore. So you just have to wait till they become available. And I have, as a demonstrator, access to the back side, and I can sign in, and it gives us an estimated date of delivery. We have an inventory status report, and if nothing is showing up, if it doesn't show up anymore, that it's out of stock, I can open an order and enter the item number, and if it's available, it adds it to my order. And if it's out of stock, you just get nothing happens. I'm drinking a cup of coffee. Sorry, I drink coffee all day long. Well, let's look at our card kit. This one took a little bit longer. Lots more pieces. As you can see, I've done some of the work already. Believe it or not, it is on Poppy Parade. Another color, the new, now I'm going to be blank. It just went right out the other side. Real Red, Cherry Cobbler, Poppy Parade, and one of our new in colors are really great for Christmas cards. So we're using the Boughs of Holly designer series paper. This one's got lots. So let me see. Once again, it is a landscape card. I don't know, to me, Christmas is just supposed to be landscape cards. I see pretty ones that are the traditional portrait. So I do have a Whisper White liner. And I have already embossed my panel of Whisper White that goes on the front. I'm not going to mount that yet. And we had to do it side to side, which is a little different than what we've done it before. So I put it in, and this part did not get embossed. But it's not a big deal, because these strips will cover the edges, and then we can either stamp our sentiment on an extra piece and stick it in there, or stamp it directly on this smooth part. And that's what I'm going to do for this card. So I'm going to move that out of the way. And the other side totally would not work. I like the little dewdrops and the white, and it's a nice way to use up small pieces of paper. This designer series paper, I don't think there's really a right and a wrong direction, but I chose to kind of make them go sideways since the card is going sideways. It just goes along the edge. That panel is cut 5 1/4 by 4 inches. So these are 3, well, they're actually 7/8 by 5 1/4, because they go from the fold down to the lower edge. Okay. Just kind of eye up that straight edge. Like I said, I think I'm going to go ahead and just stamp this right down in that spot that did not get. You light up the season. I thought it was neat then to use the gold to die cut. Sorry, I can't talk and line that up at the same time. I do want that to be straight. That looks pretty good. I really think this was not evening evergreen. I think it might have been mossy meadow. But there's enough green going on that you could use whatever color. All right, move that out of the way. Close this up. Let's build our trees. So we use the tree lot dies. They were a free item during Sale-a-bration that coordinates with the trimming the tree. That may be why I have them put together. Trimming the tree is actually in the annual catalog. So it was a neat way to get a head start on Christmas. I have put our adhesive sheet paper on the back of this detail because getting glue on it is kind of a nightmare. And when you pull that release paper off, it pulls most of these little die cut pieces off. But it's real easy just to pick them out. Oops, stay. And get this last one stuck to my finger. And I'll show you how easy that is then. I believe you can see. So I just kind of start at the bottom, holding it at the top. And it doesn't have to be on there exactly perfect, because see, I'm off a little bit up here at the top. So that is so much easier. Now this one, I did not put the adhesive sheets on. So now I'm going to have to sit here and punch out. They punch out easily. This one, even though it's a detail die, I think mine is still good and sharp. If they get dull, sometimes you can die cut on pieces of foil to sharpen them. There's different, I've seen different techniques that people talk about. I know occasionally my, especially detail dies, tend to, I guess they get dull for lack of better terminology. Okay, I'm going to use liquid glue. I'm not going to use our Tombow, Tombow, because it won't come out in a fine little tip like this one does. This is what we call contraband because it is not a Stampin' Up! Product. We do have a fine tip glue. I don't know where in the world mine is because I would totally use it on this fine little, so I just dab it on in a bunch of different places. You can see why the adhesive sheets is a much better option than liquid glue, or I would totally not even try using the Stampin' Seal. You could, but you better use a silicone sheet, and you'll have a lot of extra adhesive in these openings. And see, that didn't take much longer. What I like about that bottle of contraband, it dries really quickly. You don't have a lot of room for wiggle. Other people like our Tombow, excuse me, I'll reach up here, because it does stay liquid longer and you have time to move it around. I'll use that on bigger items, but that's teeny tiny. So the smaller of the two trees, I just mounted it straight to the front. The larger tree, I did on some dimensionals. I love these trees. It reminds me of Alaska. When my brother lived there, we got to go in March one year, and it's still winter. They were still getting snow at night, and the trees, especially the evergreens, were just loaded to the ground. The branches were drooped with snow, but the green still peeked through. It was just gorgeous, gorgeous. If you had to live there all the time, not so gorgeous. They have since moved back to Texas. All right. Now, probably I should have used the adhesive sheet on the back of these, but I'll show you yet another trick. How about if we use some glue dots instead? The nice thing about this string of lights, these glue dots fit those bulbs. Oops, threw that out of the way. So for sure I want it on the first bulb and the last bulb. And then just kind of pick. I'm going to put it on every bulb. And lay it however you would like it to be laid. We kind of crisscross them. So do that. And 1, 2, 3. I think I did 4. And do that one, and for sure this one, and skip one and do that one, and let's do this other middle one. Here we go. And I made mine stop in the center panel. And that one went a little bit over. Did not mean to do that. But you know what? No harm, no foul. Give it a little snip. So those will not be going anywhere. I'm going to go ahead and adhere that to the front of the card. And then I'll embellish it with these pretty pearls. These pearls are 4 different colors. And even though it's real red, and this is on a cherry cobbler background, I didn't really think anybody would notice. Because there's lots of color. I think I'll put that one right there. And let's put this one right here. Do a red one down here. This is Pool Party. I think I'll do a gold one here. And we better do another gold one. Do 3 and 3. Okay. And the inside of the card. Let's see what we did. I'm going to go ahead and stick it down. I'm brave. Some of my girls like to get their stamping done, so if they mess it up, they can flip it over. I nearly always stick it in first and then stamp. And then I have to figure out how to fix it. So the inside of this card is just stamped with "Have yourself a Merry Little Christmas." I don't know if I have this card is made with the fitting florets. We'll make that in my next class. That's an awesome oval dies frames. Let me show you this frame. Nope, that's not the frame. That's a butterfly. You should see my side over here. I wanted to do that, but it was so much white. But is that not just the prettiest? So this collection is available today. And if you saw my Facebook post, you already know that. The stamps and the dies will be in the new little mini catalog that comes out in, where's the sentiment? In January. All right, I've already stolen that sentiment and used it in a card, so I'm not going to finish this one right now. But that verse is large enough. It took up enough space, but if you wanted to embellish with a strip of the designer series paper, you could. That's probably what I'll do. So that's my second card for today. Not much. I didn't change this one up a whole lot. One of the stampers in my last session figured out, oh, well, you don't even have to use this strip of paper, but I sized it to fit right in between to stamp on, because this ended up not getting embellished. So let me know what you think about these cards. The dies are not available, unfortunately. The trees for sale are, this one is the one that's in the annual catalog. These trees are awesome when you stamp them in 2 different colors of green. I have random stuff here on my desk. I probably have a stamped, but anyway. So that's all for today. I'm not going to take any more of your time. Thanks for watching with me. I will post the links for any of these items if you would like to purchase them, or if you have questions. Sign up for my email list if you're not on that. And I will see you next time. Bye.